President Joe Biden can't afford Terry McAuliffe to lose the governor's race in Virginia, and the White House knows it. It's a scenario the president and his aides and close allies increasingly view as a real possibility, given tightening poll numbers in the race and signs of Democratic apathy. The White House, Democratic National Committee and outside partners are closely coordinating their efforts and speaking almost daily, according to 3 people familiar with the dynamic. Just over a month before Election Day, they are planning to ramp up activity and engagement, in addition to the $5 million the DNC has already budgeted for Virginia, one of the people said. They know what's at stake. A loss to Republican Glenn Youngkin in the off-cycle governor's race could set off a domino effect, with Democrats panicking and thinking it's 2009 all over again, the year they last lost the state's gubernatorial race, followed by a wipeout in Congress. Democrats fear the party will lose faith in the idea that Biden's agenda will help boost their electoral prospects, that they'll fret about his broader handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, and even question the embrace of vaccine mandates as an electoral cudgel after it found favor with a wide swath of Americans. There should be concern. It's a close race. If Terry loses, that's going to scare a lot of Democrats on the Hill. It's going to make people worry about the midterms and it's going to make it harder to pass the president's agenda, said Josh Schwerin, a Democratic strategist who has worked as a McAuliffe political advisor and former press secretary. People are going to get skittish if we lose this. It would be the wrong reaction, Schwerin added, but it would be the reaction. A source familiar with the White House's thinking said officials always anticipated a close race in Virginia, noting that Biden himself suggested so when he stumped for McAuliffe in late July. Among their concerns is the number of undecided voters in the contest, said another source familiar with conversations between White House aides and National Democratic Party leadership. Virginia has trended Democratic in recent years, with Biden winning the state by 10 points, but if voters remain on the fence as the election approaches, it gives Youngkin the type of opening he would need. Of course I believe the White House is concerned, said Chris Korga, National Finance Chair at the DNC who is close with McAuliffe. Knowing Terry the way I do, this guy is tireless, he never stops, he'll pull it out. But it's going to require him running a near-perfect campaign. Fear within the administration is real. Specifically, a third person expressed concerns about complacency among Democratic voters setting in, and pledged that much of their work over the final 35 days will be on ensuring those restive voters turn in their ballots. If Democrats, if the McAuliffe campaign, if the coordinated campaign run a strong, get out the vote effort, which I believe that they will, I think that they're going to be in a great spot, the person told Politico. But people have to show up, they've got to show up and vote. McAuliffe, whose second and final debate with Youngkin is Tuesday evening, isn't shying away from the warnings. Recently, he sat for interviews on cable TV to lay out the stakes for Democrats in Virginia and beyond. Operatives in the state compared the early alarm bells to those rung in California this summer after polls showed Democratic Gov. Gavin Newsom only narrowly turning back a recall attempt. Newsom successfully branded the effort a GOP-led recall, tagged his opponents as mini Donald Trumps, and mobilized Democrats before turning out his voters en masse. But Virginia is a far more closely divided state and unlike in California, not every voter is being sent a mail-in ballot. Korga and others said they'd breathe easier if the Biden administration and lawmakers showed progress, and ultimately passed, the president's major legislative proposals, infrastructure and a party-line social spending bill. Honestly, if they pass infrastructure and reconciliation, my comfort level of Terry winning goes up by a 1,000, he said. Schwerin stressed that even though Democrats will likely be spooked into thinking there are wider implications for Biden's agenda if McAuliffe loses, it likely would be due to other dynamics, including a different electorate in off-year elections and the absence of a motivating anti-Trump sentiment. I think McAuliffe is running a good campaign and he's a good candidate, he said. It's the climate. While McAuliffe has worked to yoke Youngkin to Trump, contending that the state's progress on COVID and the economy will go to shambles under Republican leadership, Youngkin has largely resisted invitations to nationalize the race. Still, Republicans see more opportunities to leverage Biden's shortcomings to drive turnout.